Hi, everybody. My name is Matt, and I would like to welcome you all to Fiverr's first webinar. We're trying out a new format to help share some tips and tricks with the community from community members. Again, my name is Matt. I am a digital community manager here at Fiverr, and I would like to introduce Carlos. He is a digital marketer who began his career in 2003 with a prank call to Fidel Castro. And since that time, he has gone on to create email capture systems that have built up over 250,000 addresses to help him create campaigns for US radio stations and Fortune 500 companies. He now runs his company, Miami Marketer, and that company helps small and medium-sized businesses with strategies that let them kind of get a little unfair advantage with their competition. Today, he's going to be talking to you about how to get more sales out of Fiverr without coming off as pushy or salesy. So if you have any questions for Carlos, we'll do is we'll address them after the webinar, but go ahead and type them into chat. I will kind of host the Q&A at the end. But without further ado, I would like to introduce Carlos. Let me switch it over to him.
Can you hear me? We're good?
Yes, we can. Perfect.
All right. Good to go. You're all the way on the other side. You're on the West Coast. I'm on the East Coast. I'm in Miami. You're in Cali. Well, all right. Well, I'm ready to rock. Okay. Well, good to go. Well, thank you everybody for taking the time to hang out with Matt and I was excited as soon as I found out that I can help Fiverr in any way and have this little platform to share my little wealth nuggets of info to help businesses get that unfair advantage over their competition. So let me go ahead and start sharing my screen, so that way we can get that rolling. I think that my screen is shared. Matt, I don't know if can you see that?
Yep, you are good to go.
All right, good to go. Well, Matt, you said I built an email list of over 250 email addresses. I did 250,000 email addresses. So I did a little bit more than that, but it was a great opportunity for me, and I started to learn some more. So the purpose of this webinar is to teach everyone that's watching how to get more sales without ever coming off as pushy or salesy, because it's the reality is that nobody likes to be sold to. Everyone loves to discover great opportunities. So hang on, let me go ahead and get my first slide. Well, my name is Carlos Vazquez, and just as Matt said, my career launched in 2003 with a prank call to Fidel Castro. And a little bit backstory with that is that in 1991, my father got me a computer, a Tandy 1000 computer, and he inspired me to play with the computer because I said I want to play games. I saw him playing games on his Super VGA monitor. So he said, okay, if you want to learn how to play games, you got to read this book on DOS. And to me, that sucked because I didn't want to have to read a book to play games, but he ended up creating a monster because at that point, I realized that if I ever wanted to learn something, I can go ahead and just pick up a book and learn about it all on my own, and I don't have to be at the mercy of someone else trying to teach me. Well, he created that monster, and then I ended up having access to Microsoft Front Page 97. I learned how to build websites by playing and doing and reading dummies books on how to use how to create websites. And I would right-click websites and all that good stuff and put the source code right inside of Front Page. And then 1999, I joined the Marine Corps. And then I went in as an ammunition technician. So if you guys ever seen the movie Saving Private Ryan, UPM, the one that delivers ammunition front and back to the front lines, that was my job in the Marine Corps. But they saw something in me, and they heard that I was actually good with computers, so they decided to give me a little test. So what ended up happening was that I showed them that I was actually pretty good at the computer stuff, so they gave me an additional MOS, military occupation specialty, and I was a computer geek. But it wasn't until 2003 when I came back down to Miami, where two good friends of mine, they were radio show jocks out here in Miami. They did the morning show. And I volunteered to do their website because websites really, no one cared about the website. So what happened was after I volunteered, they were infamous for prank calling all kinds of people. So one of those people that we prank called was Hugo Chavez, the president at the time for Venezuela. And then after that, we grabbed the audio from that call, and then we managed to get through all the way to Fidel Castro using audio bits from Hugo Chavez. So the people thought that he was the third party on the call. Well, to make a long story short, everyone who didn't get to hear the call on the radio, we told them that if you want to hear the call, you can go ahead and go to the website and you can listen to the call. And that's where I discovered how to build my own lead capture system. No one taught me how to do it. I just ended up reading PHP scripts and I created my first lead capture system. And it resulted into over 250,000 email addresses that the radio station said, whoa, wait a minute, Carlos, we need to go ahead and start monetizing this. Can you do this? So that's where my career went from a voluntary hobby to a full-fledged paid gig. And because of that, I was hired to build campaigns for radio stations, for other radio stations, for other companies like Coca-Cola, Universal, Disney. And because of these companies, I was able to play with all the expensive toys. So I learned all kinds of strategies, techniques, and different ways to getting things done. But I would say in 2015, when the software got so affordable, I was able to really hit the ground running because now my competition was just starting to learn how to use these different softwares while I already had the advantage. So now what I do is I share what I learn. I share these tactics and strategies with small businesses and medium-sized businesses so that way they can go ahead and take it back to their business so that way they can apply and get it going. And that's what I do now. And it's fun. It's one of those things that I love to absolutely do. And it's one of those, I have like some type of ADD. It's not diagnosed for real, but digital marketing really complements that constant trying different things urge that I have. So I'm constantly wanting to learn new things, and digital marketing happens to be one of those areas where things are consistently changing, and it's fun to try to keep up. So what I'm going to reveal now on this webinar is basically what has been working, what is still working now to generate more sales without ever trying to come off as salesy or pushy. So let's go and dive right in. So this is the agenda that I have prepared for this webinar. We're going to talk about 5 key areas right now. We're going to talk about 1, the common mistake that everybody makes. 2, the 6 stages that we have to understand. 3, the motivators. 4, the intel. And 5, the blinders. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to jump right in. So let's talk about part 1, the common mistake. So whenever we get the opportunity to spend money on advertising, what ends up happening is that the most natural instinct is to spend as much money as possible and advertise our products, advertise our services. And we see it all the time. We see it on the billboards, we see it on the radio, we see it on TV. And the problem with this approach is that, for one, everyone's doing it. And number 2, you're asking someone that doesn't know you, you haven't earned their trust to commit to you, right? Now, what's wrong with that picture? Well, that's the equivalent of asking someone to marry you on the first date. Hey, I know you don't know me. I know you don't know what I have to offer, but trust me when I tell you this. I'm going to change your life. I'm not saying that this is never going to work. In fact, I mean, it hasn't worked for me. I had to date my wife before she actually decided to work and marry me or say yes to me. But in the dating world, a no is a no. You move on and you carry on, you continue asking the next person. But in the world of marketing, a no ends up meaning you're spending money on all of those no's. So how do we minimize the amount of no's we get so that way we can get to those yeses much faster? And that leads me to the next point. Remember, in marketing, every no translates to the loss of cash. So let's talk about the 6 stages. Before we start asking for marriage on the first date, we have to understand that there are 6 stages that every customer goes through when they start working with us. Okay? And these are the 6 stages. Number 1, suspects. The suspect stage. Every time someone comes to your site, and everyone that comes to ask, learn more about your topics, they are considered suspects. These people don't know you, they don't know what you have to offer, but they are interested in your topics. And what that means to you is that these people are not ready for you to pitch them just yet. Okay? After they are a suspect, then we have what's called a prospect. The prospect stage is when someone is still very interested in your subject matter, but these people are giving up their some type of contact information, like an email address, to retrieve that piece of information. Okay? Then we have what's called a lead. A lead is someone that has expressed interest in your services, and they have given you their contact information in exchange for some answers to their question. All right. Now, these people are basically ready to be pitched, but they just want to make sure that you can fulfill what they need. Then we have, of course, a customer. A customer is someone that feels like you can fulfill their needs and they're willing to give you money for it. Then we have what's called the repeat customer. This person still believes you can fulfill their needs and there are additional services they would like to purchase from you. Then we have a fan. A fan is someone that loves your service, loves your products, loves your company, and they are raving about you to their friends and family. So the idea is that whenever people make that mistake that we talked about in part 1, they're essentially advertising to a bunch of suspects. So when you do that, you're going to get a bunch of no's because just as I mentioned before, the suspect is not ready for you to pitch them. They're basically ready to be pitched when they are a lead. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about, damn, did I skip a step here? You know what? I did skip a step. I want to go ahead and pull up a Gliffy. Let's talk about the offers, the motivators that actually move people from step to step. So hang on a second. Let me pull up my Gliffy chart because I'm a very visual person. So if you guys are visual, this is a great tool to help get the point across. So remember, we've got customer, prospect, we've got lead, customer, repeat customer, and let's move this one down. And this is your fan, right? So we got suspect, prospect, lead, customer, repeat customer, fan. All right, so now let's talk about those motivators that move people from stage to stage. Right here, this is the main product that I was talking about that everyone's always trying to advertise on the first date, right? And you notice that main product is right next to customer. There's actually 1, 2, 3 before the main product, and so on and so forth. All right, so let's talk about the first step. This entire 5-block step system, the idea is that, remember, no one likes to feel sold to, but everyone loves to discover great opportunities. And these 5 building blocks are meant to naturally transition everyone from stage to stage with a great opportunity. So this 5-step process, and it could be more than that, I call it the natural sales process. It's meant to naturally progress them from stage to stage. So the first stage in the natural sales process is called the lure. A lure is some type of content that is not gated, where you share information and you expose them to possible problems. All right. It's meant to attract suspects to your natural sales process. All right. So this is a blog article, this is a video, this is a podcast, whatever the case is. Right. After that, we have what's called the free irresistible offer. And the free irresistible offer, I don't want you to confuse it with a free offer. A free irresistible offer is something you give away in exchange for their email address, right? But the difference between a free irresistible offer and a free offer is if you're able to answer yes to the following question, you have yourself a free irresistible offer. And that question is, if I were to put a price on this, would someone pay me for it? If the answer is yes, then you have yourself a free irresistible offer. If the answer is no, then you have yourself just a regular old free offer. And I'm not saying that a free offer will never work, but what I am saying is that you're going to get a bunch of no's before you get to a yes. Whenever a marketer, whenever a business owner discovers something new, we use it and we abuse that same strategy and tactic until we ruin it. So marketers have ruined the free offer. People have caught on that if you give away your email address, you're probably going to get spammed, right? So the game changer is the free irresistible offer part, right? So now with that free irresistible offer, that's how we attract prospects. The next step is what we call the foot in the door offer. And the foot in the door offer is meant to get your foot either virtually in the door or literally in the door with that client. So there's two ways to do this. One, with a low ticket item, a low price ticket item, something like $5, $7, $9. And the idea is this: if you can provide value at such a low price, then you have proven, it's been actually proven, there's a study that was conducted for this. If you're able to get someone to buy from you once, then you have a 60 to 70% chance that that person will buy from you again. All right. So it's got to be low ticket. And when I say low ticket, it's got to be so that they don't have to discuss this expense with their spouse. It's got to be something that doesn't hurt them. If they take out their wallet, it excites them. They're likely they're likely to buy from you again. All right. So now let's say, for example, you cannot come up with a low ticket item. Then the alternative is somebody's time. If you're able to spend 30 minutes or more with someone and give them value and get them excited, then it's highly likely that they're going to take you upon your next step, the main product, main service. A perfect example for this is an attorney with that consultation. If you consider that consultation, remember, that's not a free irresistible offer. That's just a regular free offer. However, if you reposition it to be at the foot in the door step, then what that means is that when someone sits down with that attorney, they're going to explain their circumstances. They're going to explain their situation. And if that attorney makes them feel like, hey, this guy actually has my best interest in mind, they're going to retain that attorney. Wait, we're still looking at my presentation, right? Let me just make sure. Matt, are
Carlos, you're still on the Gliffy.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure I didn't hit some stupid button. Okay, cool. So now let's go ahead and let's jump into the next step, and that's the main product. I'm not going to go too far into details with the main product. The main product is meant to, this is what you're trying to sell. This is your flagship product that you need to keep selling enough of this so that way you can pay the bills for the business, pay the expenses, whatever. So let's just move on from that. The next step is what we call the profit booster. The profit booster is exactly what the name says. It's meant to boost profits with one customer so that you can increase the customer lifetime value. So the idea is that with the right natural sales process, let me go ahead and put some arrows here. With the right natural sales process, you will have a clear understanding of how you're going to transition people from stage to stage, right? So I'm going to give you the best example that I can find, that I have found in the world, basically. One of the best examples, and that's Starbucks. Starbucks happens to have one offer, one motivator that covers the lure, the free irresistible offer, and the foot in the door offer, and that is their free Wi-Fi. Now, you can spend all day at Starbucks, not spend a dime. You can leech off of their Wi-Fi, bring guests, do homework, do a bunch of work, meet with clients, and never spend a dime, right? So you go to Starbucks and you sit down, you log on to the internet, right? So in order for you to actually be there, you have to be attracted with the lure. Then you sit down, you set up your laptop, and you connect to their Wi-Fi. You have to submit your email address, and you literally have your foot in the door at Starbucks, right? Now, if Starbucks decides to tell you, hey, you know what? We are currently charging $5 for the Wi-Fi, but don't worry, these $5 will cover you at every Starbucks location. You can come at the moment we open to the moment we close. You can spend all day you want. We're just asking for $5. You probably would spend the money, right? But it's free, so you're going to go ahead and take advantage of the opportunity. So now you smell coffee, and you decide, you know what, let me go ahead and stand in line and grab a coffee. Now you just bought their main product. You stand in line and you get yourself a sandwich. You just got yourself a profit booster. They have additional profit boosters. And that's, well, today's Wednesday. I'll come back on Thursday. I'll come back on Saturday. I'll come back with a friend. So that's how they never sell you anything, but they always present you with opportunities. You discover them and you take advantage if it makes sense. So our goal to never come off as salesy or pushy is to become the Starbucks of our industry. And the only way we're going to do that is by having a clear understanding of what our natural sales process looks like. So that way we know how we're going to move people from stage to stage. All right. So now let's talk about how to create your own natural sales process. Well, the part 4 is where I call the intel section, because right now I'm going to reveal how I uncover what people actually want, so that way I don't bother wasting any time reinventing the wheel. All right. So let's go ahead and the first place I like to go to is a website called answerthepublic.com. Answer the Public is a website which is very similar to Google, but the difference is, and in fact, it does connect to Google, but it displays the information differently. When you go to Google, you type in a search phrase, Google is going to send you the most relevant websites that are related to that search phrase. Answer the Public will give you the most popular questions people are searching on Google related to that search phrase. So if I were to go ahead and type in here, buying home, right? If I'm a realtor and trying to find more people to buy homes, one of the things I want to uncover is what kind of questions people are asking on Answer the Public, so that way I know what kind of questions I need to answer. So let's go ahead. We're just letting it load real quick. And we have 95 questions, 140 prepositions, 60 comparisons, 500 alphabeticals, and 20 related. So if we scroll down right here, how much are home buying fees? What are home buying points? What are home buying interest rates? What this tells me is that I would cherry pick the ones that make the most sense for me, and I would create articles, lures that answer the questions that people are asking on this site, right? So, like I said, I don't like to reinvent the wheel. The wheel is literally right in front of us. So if this is what people are searching for, then that's how you're going to be able to create a lure that is absolutely attractive. All right, this is what they're actually searching for, right? These are the prepositions. So cherry pick the ones that make the most sense for your natural sales process. And if you're trying to attract suspects, make sure you're answering these type of questions. All right. The next place I like to go to is a little old website you probably have heard of, and that's Amazon.com. Now, Amazon, one of the beautiful things about Amazon is that it's a great research tool. If you go to the book section and you type in here, buying home, let's see what we get. So buying home, you get the sponsored ads in the top, which I wouldn't say completely ignore them, but I like to skip them at first because I like to see what organically is coming up. So this one, Home Buying Kit for Dummies, it has 4.4 out of 5 stars, 153 reviews. It's pretty decent. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to open up a new tab to see what this book is all about. So normally, most of the time, when you click on the paperback book icon or filter right here, you can click on the book, and then you're able to see the table of contents. Now, what's beautiful about this is that this is what this book is talking about. And remember that question about the free irresistible offer. If I were to put a price on this, would someone pay me for it? The fact that this book is selling for $20.39 proves that people are willing to pay for this content. So I'm willing to bet that the knowledge that this book shares is not proprietary. If you are an experienced realtor or home seller, then I'm sure you can answer these questions. I mean, you can come up with content to make your own version of the content here. right? Now, I'm not saying to copyright infringe, not at all. What I am saying is that use this as your inspiration to get those creativity juices flowing. All right. So that is how I avoid reinventing the wheel. Now, another place I love to go to is YouTube. If you go to YouTube and you type in here buying home, you got a bunch of videos, and you have videos that you can see that have already a good amount of views. You can actually go in here, the buyer mistakes. You can create lures based off of the stuff in here. So don't reinvent the wheel. Look at what's already working and use that to your advantage. All right, so now we know how to create our lures. We know how to start creating our free irresistible offers. How do we increase those conversion rates? Meaning, how do we get more people to actually opt in to give us their email or to set up an appointment with us? Well, there's a concept. It's not a concept. It's actually just an actual tool. It's called funnels, right? A funnel, you know what? Let me explain it. Let me show you a perfect example. So let's look at Amazon again. All right. If you go to Amazon's website, this is a multi-billion-dollar company. They literally make millions of dollars a day. Now, if we go to their website, you see the slider here, back to school essentials. You got Kleenex and more. You've got deals in business. You got this moving distraction. You got all of these products. You got all of these items right here. And the problem with this is with Amazon, if we come to their site and we don't make a purchase, they're not going to lose any sleep. They're still going to make their millions of dollars somewhere, either through the app or through the Alexa, whatever the case is. They're still going to make their money. However, us as small business owners, we can't afford to not leverage or maximize off of every visit that comes to our page. And that's where funnels come in. Right now, this is a meetup group that I run out here in South Florida. It's called the Small Business Secrets. I currently have 1,447 members. And Meetup allows me to organically build a following to join the meetup group. However, I don't get access to their contact information. What I do get is the ability to send everyone a message whenever I want to announce something. So one of those messages is, if you want the notes from previous and future meetups, click here to tell me where to send them to. And they all go to this one landing page right here. This page right here, if you notice, it's very simple, very simplistic, and it's done on purpose. And the reason why is because at the top, we're specifically talking about gain access to our meetup strategy notes when they're released. On the left-hand side is a picture of what the notes look like. On the right-hand side, you've got shadow. You've got this white form with the big pink button that says send me the notes. I want that person to focus on doing one thing, and that is giving me their contact information. The only thing that I have that's remotely close to an advertisement is my logo at the bottom. I'm not talking about how I can help people generate leads. I'm not talking about my automation services. I'm not talking about anything else. I'm only talking about putting your information in this form so that way I can send you the notes. And that's what funnels are all about. Funnels are like, you know how we put blinders on a horse? Well, this is like putting blinders on a human so that way we get them to focus. So if you are not using funnels to increase your chances to get that conversion, then you're going to have a hard time and a very low conversion rate to get people to convert. So let's say here, let's go ahead and go back to my, here, right here. And then that's it. And then that's what we got. So what you want to make sure is you understand what your natural sales process looks like. You understand who you're talking to. You want to make sure that you are not reinventing the wheel when it comes to doing your intel market research. And of course, you want to put blinders on people so that way they do not get distracted from what you want them to get distracted. You don't want them to get distracted. All right. So that's it. That's how you don't come off. That's how you generate more sales without coming off as salesy or pushy. That's it. So now I'm just going to open the floor for questions. Let everybody jump in. And Matt, is there anything that we can ask and answer.
Yeah, this was amazing content. Thanks, Carlos. One question I have for you: if you had one immediate actionable item that attendees could take away and go do right now, what would you suggest that they do as a first step?
Well, first thing I would absolutely do is tell them to go to answerthepublic.com, right? Because this information right here will let you know what people are already searching for in your specific industry, right? So this eliminates that confusion and it lets you know what you should be focusing on as far as creating content, right? So another place that I would go to as well is a website called buzzsumo.com. And this website is free for the first 3 searches a day. So if you're trying to find articles that are already viral, all right, let's go ahead and type in buying a home, right? Buying home. BuzzSumo will give you the most highly engaged articles. When I say highly engaged, it means the shares on Facebook, Twitter, whatever. So, wow, apparently New Zealand's got some good buying home, ban foreigners from buying home. It's interesting. So right here, 19,000 shares, 16,000 shares. If you're trying to find something to write about, look at what's already gone viral and use that to your advantage.
Cool. And the other question that we have here from the group is more about Fiverr gigs and like how do you position your Fiverr gigs and how do you create them to match up with exactly what you're offering and how do you kind of make that distinction between specific gigs and whatnot?
Okay, that's a great question. So this is my Fiverr gig, right? So what I do for clients is I usually help them figure out what their natural sales process looks like because they're not marketers, so they have a hard time trying to figure out what to put in place of it. So one of the offers that I have is building a conversion strategy, right? Then we map out the funnel blueprint of how we're going to convert suspects into prospects, prospects into leads, leads into customers, right? But after that, then we build the funnel. After that, we build the automations. After that, we build the Facebook ads. Sometimes people get sticker shock to find out, wow, this is going to cost me about $3,000, $3,500, right? However, on Fiverr, I have created a natural sales process. I broke down it's called splintering. I splintered my entire package, my entire service, and I made these compartmentalized gigs to help people kind of just move up naturally without ever feeling like I'm coming off as salesy or pushy, right? So that's how I do it with Fiverr. Understand what your entire product looks like, splinter that into different compartmentalized products, and then you can offer them as separate gigs inside of Fiverr. Does does that help?
Yeah, that's perfect. A couple more questions actually came in while you're talking. So, out of the all the online marketing channels like SEO, social media, Google Display Ads, what would you say a new business owner should focus on first?
All right. So I personally love paid Facebook ads. And the reason why, it's kind of like if you were to spend money on advertising, like on a radio or on TV or whatever, that's kind of like the automatic, driving an automatic car. You're spending money and you're just hoping that you're going to get bites. You're hoping to get people to buy your services. Facebook ads, they are like driving a stick shift on a car. You get full control. Well, maybe not 100% full, but you get a lot more control controlling the car. So Facebook ads allows you to specifically target suspects. And then it allows you to retarget and generate prospects. And then you can retarget those same people and generate leads. So I personally love Facebook because you get to control what kind of traffic comes to your natural sales process, and you're not going to be spending an arm and a leg compared to some other marketing platform. So that's where I would like to start. If you are hoping that you're going to get sales from organic search or because you're posting on regular Facebook, not doing Facebook ads, that cannot be your main strategy because you don't have any control over that. If you want control, you have to be willing to spend money at least on paid Facebook ads. anything else, you could be spending a lot more. But I like Facebook ads because it's easier to learn and you have more control.
Facebook ads, got it. So another question, how would you do this for a business that's based on doing dance performances for birthday parties, schools, and corporate? Kind of getting away from the digital side of it and even to a more tangible product.
Okay, so if it's a dance studio, right? It's kind of like a gym, honestly. Just because you're using the internet to generate new leads doesn't mean what we're doing here wouldn't apply, right? So you want to understand what your target audience wants. That those dance studios, right? And then from the dance studio, you want to target locally on Facebook, and you want to come up with this. Let's go ahead and do a quick little search on, let's see, not dance studio, but let's say a typical dance. I'm over here in Miami, dance salsa, right? Whatever. So we do dance salsa. So let's find out the kind of questions people are searching that are related to dancing salsa. Let's see. Let's let her load. All right, we got 83 questions. Why I learned to dance salsa? What is salsa dance images? What is salsa dance music? Dance steps? Like this is where I would start, because this is what the target audience is looking for. I would create lures for suspects that are local to me. And then the ones that are clicking on the articles, we retarget them and offer them some type of, hey, click here for all these videos on specifically how to do the dance, right? So the lure could be all about the strategy, while the free irresistible offer could be the specific tactics on getting the job done. If they're downloading this ultimate guide or watching these videos on how to specifically dance salsa or whatever, then the next natural offer would be, hey, why don't you come into the studio for a free dance lesson, right? Then they'll come into the studio. Now you got someone with their foot in the door with you. That person is going to be much more open because they're interested in your services. They just want to make sure that they can do it. And then progressively move them up. Hey, if you take advantage right now, we have a special offer going on, and for only X amount of dollars, you can have 10 lessons, whatever. And then after that, you have a retainer or a monthly subscription. Hey, for a monthly price, you can always come to any dance you want, anytime you want. You can come at any unlimited dance studios, a lesson or whatever. So that's how I would bring it from a digital, from not focusing on a digital product to a local, tangible, physical product.
Cool. We've got a follow-up from the Facebook ads question. It's like,
Sure.
Can you get results from Instagram that are equal to Facebook?
So remember this, Instagram is Facebook. So the same exact advertising that applies in Facebook actually does apply on Instagram. Now, remember, we're talking about paid ads, not regular Instagram posts. So Instagram posts, if you're just putting posts on Instagram and using the hashtags to try to generate new followers, that's a icing on the cake type of strategy. But that's not a realistic strategy to control traffic. If you do Facebook paid ads and use Instagram as a platform, the same rules apply. Use the lure, get people to watch your video, get them to come to your site, retarget them, and keep moving them up your natural sales process.
Cool. So another question.
Yeah.
Do you have any CTA best practices? CTAs are call to actions.
Yep.
How to phrase a CTA, where to place it on the page, etc.
Okay, so that's a great question because it's one of the most underrated quick fixes, hacks that everyone can have on their site. So if you look at one of my funnels here, a call to action should always stand out from the actual design. It should never complement the design. It should always stand out from the design. For example, let's say right here, you see this big send me the notes, right? You have this big pink button. It's loud. There's no way you're going to miss it. I have this shadow hovering around the form because I want them to focus on this area, and then I want them to know that this is the button you have to click. Now, as far as the CTA, the actual words of a CTA, I have seen better conversion rates when you write the language as in first person. All right? Send me the notes. Yes, give it to me. Not submit or complete order. Like, don't speak like a computer. make the words sound like they're reading it in their head as if they're talking to you. So that helps conversion rates, right? Let me show you another one. So if I go to my company site, miamimarketer.com, actually, yeah. So let me just make this bigger. And on my site, you have this design right here, and boom, I don't have any orange anywhere but this big call to action. So orange contrasting colors, let's say, and then another call to action, black. You see, so always have something to stand out to make it easy for them to identify, because their eyes will naturally jump to that call to action.
The next call to action for you is another question. So can you talk a little bit more about the Meetup app? You say you use it to kind of contact people who are interested by being able to send messages to them. Are you actually using the Meetup app to create meetups and whatnot? Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is my meetup. I run this meetup right here. So right now we have 1,447 members. At least once a month, I host a meetup to gather the community, so that way we can talk about these small business secrets, these little hacks and tips and tricks and different software. So this is a great tool for me to generate a bunch of prospects, right? These people, while they're on Meetup, if they haven't come to see me yet, or they've never come to my meetup, they're just suspects. But when they physically come to my meetup, now they're prospects that literally have their foot in the door with me. Now, once they hear me and they realize that I actually know what I'm talking about, then the likely next step happens to be, hey, Carlos, can you sit down and talk with me so that way I need help with my business. Now that person's converting into a lead. Then they get on my calendar, and then it just keeps moving up from there. So that's how I leverage Meetup. I do it on a monthly basis, at least once a month. In fact, on August 30th, if anyone's out here in Miami, Fiverr and I are having a meetup on August 30th. And these were the pictures from the last meetup. A ton of people came and they were excited. They were learning so much. And the stuff that we're talking about now in the webinar, we're actually going to be talking about it in a deeper level at the meetup. So I use this to kind of continue building my authority status and teaching people in marketing. My goal is to just spread as much knowledge as possible, because I feel that Miami, especially Miami, being the big city that we are, I still feel like we're still behind the times. So I want to be one of the first people to help bring the technology out here, and I want to help as many people as possible, especially the ones that want to learn how to do it for themselves. And of course, I build great relationships with others from it. So that's how I leverage Meetup. I have meetups on at least once a month.
Cool. So that's it for the questions. One more thing that I would love for you to share is that we saw askthepublic.com. Can you share other sites that you like, or other reading materials, or any kind of reference materials that attendees could go and find? And
yeah, absolutely. So, man, I got a ton of them. So if there's one website that I have, it's called SERPstat, and SERPstat allows me to find out what my competitors are spending on their Google ads, on their words, right? So if I were to go ahead and let's come up with a company. Let's say, I don't know. Let's just type in personal injury. All right. Personal injury. All right. So on Google, I'm able to find out how much people are spending for these keywords. So let me kind of zoom in a bit. It's a little small. So personal injury is a very expensive keyword, right? Personal injury lawyer, people are spending $109.13 a click, right? So let me go ahead and just see this one right here. So these guys, board certified injury lawyers, they're spending $109 for personal injury. Top injury lawyers, these guys, CZR Law, they're spending $58.18. Remember, I'm saying click. That doesn't mean a conversion. It's just a click. This is a very competitive market. So if I were to go ahead and see what they're spending, let's go ahead and just copy their web address and put it in here. Let's see what we get. And I can really uncover what they're spending their money on. So they're spending money on personal injury attorney, attorneys Los Angeles, car accident lawyers for Los Angeles. Let's see what else is spending on. Car accident lawyer, Los Angeles car accident attorney. So this is a great way to figure out what they're spending money on, because you can identify what they're not spending money on, and you could probably take advantage of it's called long tail keywords. So you can find out what people are not spending money on and not generating results, and you could be one of the first people to, at a very low cost per click, generate some results. Another place that I love to go to is a website called similarweb.com. SimilarWeb is a free site where you can type in a domain. Let's say, for example, oh, did they change it up? Looks, now we got to sign up. Geez, similar. Let me see. We're gonna sign up here. They used to just have a search bar right up there. So let's just connect with Google. What language is that? It's not my language. All right. See, I just opted in for their free irresistible offer. Now I'm a prospect of theirs. It's coming. All right. So let's do start searching and type in here. Let's type in here HubSpot.com. Let's see what kind of people visit HubSpot.com. So let me close these guys out. Now on this site, I'm able to see demographic information. So I can see how many visits they get. So from between May 2018 and July 2018, they averaged 87.37 million visitors. Majority is desktop, right? So monthly visits right there, visits over time, the countries that are generating traffic for them, how people are getting to their site. Let's see, let's go down and see the social traffic. Facebook is a big player for them, LinkedIn a second. Let's see here. That you can see the basic overview of their ads and that what's driving traffic to them. The audience allows you to see, let's see, demographics. Right here, you got the age groups. So if you're ever trying to figure out more information about your target audience, find out who your competitor is, go to SimilarWeb, and you be able to understand and get some good intel on that target audience, right? So SimilarWeb, Answer the Public, SERPstat, BuzzSumo, YouTube, Amazon, like these are so many tools out there. So that way you're not stuck reinventing the wheel, all right?
And one last question came in while you were just going over that. How do you relate the strategy to selling children's books on Amazon? Again, more a physical product.
Okay, so remember this. If it's a children's book, it's most likely that you're going to have two target audiences, maybe three target audiences. You have the actual children that are reading the book. You have educational people, teachers, and you have parents. So if you're going to, if you want to sell the book, then you have to have a natural sales process for each individual one. So if it's for student, you have to break it down with the lure, the free irresistible offer, so on and so forth. But I would naturally target parents of children, because you can segment down a mom, a dad with children between the ages of toddlers, maybe not, yeah, you got toddlers, you have to 3 years old to 5 years old, whatever. You can break it down and you can come up with the benefits of what your book is talking about, because your book will be the main product. So if you're coming up with a natural sales process that talks about the benefits of whatever your story is talking about, you would want them to naturally progress to your main product. So start with, if your book is about gaining confidence, so put here in Answer the Public, let's go ahead and do children and confidence. Children confidence. Let's see what we get. We got 10 questions. How to monitor children's confidence. How to encourage children's confidence and safety awareness. How to support children's confidence. So if I were to create a lure, I would find articles that help parents figure out ways to help their children develop confidence. If that's what your book is about, obviously, right? Then you have some type of other a free irresistible offer that shows them the tactics on how to do it. Then your 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 main product is the book, and then of course if you have additional products after that, you can keep going up from there. So that's how I would start. Focus on the benefit and start targeting the right avatar, the right person, and know what you're talking about to lead them to your book.
Amazing. So much great information. Thank you so much, Carlos, for sharing it with us and all of the attendees who taking time out of their busy schedules to learn a little bit more about marketing and how to build their online presence and retargeting and all those fun things that go along with marketing.
You got it.
We have recorded this webinar, and what we will do is you'll probably see it on social channels a little bit later this week. Thank you again, Carlos, for trying to
man.
else. Like I personally am like trying to take all this information, and there's so much here. It's amazing.
Swipe it. Yeah, this is what I love doing. I get excited. And when I hear people taking action and doing something about it, it makes me feel good because I know that I was a part of it. So, yeah, I have here even a slide. If anyone wants to just keep in contact, whatever, follow me up. I just put it out there right there. You can follow me on Instagram, Miami Marketer. There's my website, and then that's my Fiverr profile. So that way, if anyone has any more questions or have any other need some tips or tricks, feel free to reach out, and I'll do what I can to answer you as soon as possible.
That's perfect. That was going to be my last ask of you, is to how can people get a hold of you if they have questions or whatnot. So perfect. Thank you again, Carlos. And again, thanks for everybody for joining us this morning / afternoon.
You got it.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.